Sound is what happens when vibrations move through something, like air, water, or even solid objects. These vibrations create waves of energy that our ears pick up, which our brains turn into sound. Let's break it down step by step in a simple way. Vibrations start everything. Imagine you're hitting a drum. When the drumstick hits the drum's surface, it makes the drum skin vibrate. This vibration causes the air around it to start moving in waves, kind of like how throwing a pebble into a pond creates ripples on the water's surface. These ripples in the air are what we call sound waves. The push-pull effect. Sound waves travel because of tiny particles, like molecules, in the air, water, or solid materials. These particles are super small, and you can't see them, but they're everywhere. When something vibrates, it pushes and pulls on these particles. Think of them like a crowd at a concert. When someone bumps into one person, they pass that bump to the next, and the movement keeps going. This chain reaction is how sound waves move. In air, when the particles get pushed together, it's called compression, and when they spread out again, it's called rarefaction. These compressions and rarefactions create a pattern that moves away from the source of the sound, carrying the energy of the vibration with them. Different materials, different speeds. Sound doesn't travel at the same speed everywhere. It depends on what it's moving through. In air, sound travels at about 343 meters per second, about 767 miles per hour. But in water, it's much faster, about 1,480 meters per second. In solids, like metal, it's even faster, up to 5,000 meters per second. This happens because particles in solids are packed closer together, so they bump into each other more quickly, passing the vibration along faster. Why can't sound travel in space? Sound needs particles to travel. In space, there's a vacuum, which means there are no particles to push or pull. Without particles, the chain reaction of sound waves can't happen, so there's no sound in space. That's why astronauts on spacewalks can only talk to each other using radios. How our ears catch sound. When sound waves reach your ear, they make your eardrum vibrate, just like hitting a drum. These vibrations are passed along tiny bones in your ear, called the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, to a fluid-filled structure called the cochlea. Inside the cochlea, special hair cells turn the vibrations into electrical signals, which your brain understands as sound. That's how you hear everything, from music to people talking to birds chirping. Fun fact, why does sound change in different places? If you've ever yelled in an empty room or a canyon, you've probably heard an echo. That's because sound waves bounce off surfaces like walls or mountains. How sound behaves depends on its environment. Soft materials, like carpets or curtains, absorb sound, while hard materials, like tiles or stone, reflect it. In short, sound travels by creating waves that move through particles in air, water, or solids. It's like a chain reaction of tiny bumps passing along energy until it reaches your ear. Without particles to carry the waves, though, sound wouldn't exist. That's why sound is all about vibrations and the materials it moves through.